Oh, so you didn't do many of the interviews yourself?
No, I didn't. No, I hated interviewing.
Uh-huh.
I did a lot. On that study, I did mainly interviews of GPs. Because, you know, I was out. I used to drive. I had this terrible little A40 car. I don't know how it kept going. It only ever broke down on the boyfriend. It never broke down on me. Well, he used to drive it too fast. But I can remember being out in the depths of Essex, you know, in the dark and fog, after sort of sitting in a GP surgery, waiting for somebody to finish, and then interviewing them. I did a lot of that, yeah, the GPs and the training. And I used to go out with interviewers, but I never liked that knocking on doors business much. And then when we got all the stuff in, then I supervised all the coding of it. You know, we had recruited coders, and they sat in a big room, and then, you know, we started producing tables, and then as she wrote it, I used to run all the tables on the counter sorter, and then as she wrote it, I had to check it all.
Did this again include, a chance for people to speak their feelings? Yeah.
But I mean, in the course of the interviews, I mean, they went into the deepest things, actually. Yeah, always. I mean, I can't. At certain points, you know, you'd ask people what they felt about it. We could come on to that. I never actually got very excited about it myself.
No.
I'm much more interested in actions. What actions people take.
Go on, say a bit more about this.
Well, because I think I spend quite a lot of my time, and we used to spend a lot of money in the office transcribing these open bits of the interviews, and then we spent a lot of money on coders who the researchers' job was they would print out a lot of, copy probably in those days. A lot of, you say, let me have the answers to this question, this open question, and then you get a whole list of them, and then you'd look at them and you decide which ones probably you would want to use to illustrate your text. But then you'd also try to code them, you classify them, so that you could say in answer to that question, so many people said that. So you'd spend a lot of time doing that. And that was all part of the report of the work that we did. It was seen to be very, very important. But it never added anything for me. And I think an awful lot of when was probably like now, you know, one justifies one's actions, and of course your feelings and everything drive your actions, but in the end what I am really interested in is, and it was so rich, this data about what people had actually done and the patterns that came out of it, and you know the way astonishing, which we knew, but to have it actually come out in front of you, differences between, women with different educational levels and things like that. That was what really interested me. And, I never could really get excited about the other stuff, to be honest. I've never been at work when there haven't been terrible budget pressures, but we must have had budget pressures, because I can remember, being quite active in the movement to get rid of these armies of people we had doing coding, because actually the computer did probably 95% of it. And then people started questioning, well, why do we want all this other stuff anyway? I mean, it was radical, it was terrible, because people got made redundant or didn't get replaced when they left, and so it dwindled. But it dwindled rather after I'd never fell in love with it.